working hard out there. Honey's got to get a few breaks.
Throw to floor. He wants the glory. Up getting hammer. Score. Throw in. Dowell with the winning goal. Colony wins.
We are here. It is quarterfinal day here at the Australian Ultimate Championships Division 1, brought to you by West Beach in Adelaide, South Australia. We've got a Melbourne rivalry here about to happen. Ellipsis Asterisks versus Spicy Chili. Avril Tam here alongside John Greenfield. How are we doing today, John?
Oh, fantastic. We just saw another excellent quarterfinal in the men's. Now we get to see in the women's. This is a scintillating Melbourne rivalry. As the pool goes up, Av.
Yep, Liddell with a big pull. The wind has gusted up significantly since the last time slot as Chile work their way through Lewis, Shaw and Vasquez. Really heated mark here by Amy Law. And a little inside, over top shot to Langston. Works through Battersby. Battersby shoots. She's looking for Vasquez, but that one's going to go well too far in front with that wind pushing it further down.
And the Chile throwers will soon learn that it's very hard to lead into the end zone in that corner.
Parks picks up Asterisks now with their first opportunity for a break, but they'll have to work all the way up, and they go a long shot to make some meters. Langston, much taller. Oh, she gets up high against Liddell.
Height winning out there.
Phillips again with the height. She looks a big long option, not afraid to shoot. All alone. Oh, and she just misreads that one, Slabbit.
I think she got taken out by the sniper there. It almost like she fell into a hole.
Yeah, maybe a bit of uneven ground there, just thwarting Chile's chances. And Jess Parks bring it up. Just a standard vertical stack. Moves it up.
Whoa!
Oh, that's a lot of contact, Preston, on Phillips. But they bounce off each other and continue play.
A little shoulder shove and off they go.
Egan Griffiths now on the close line. She points, looks for that inside to Law, working with Parks. And Chile now forcing back to the middle. Egan Griffiths looks to continue, but they get that mark on. Oh, and that is just an execution error. Slips through the hands of Parks.
Yeah, the wind just pushing that one down. Parks didn't expect it.
Phillips picks it up, but no one was ready. Lewis Shell scoops that one off her feet. Vasquez also having to work hard to stop the rotation on that disc. Having to work backwards through Phillips. So you can see the disc kind of hanging when it's going to the right of screen. Slight downwind now that the Chile offense is working with.
Inside shot, lovely.
Battersby continues to Vasquez, and that is the first score for Spicy Chile.
And I'd like the tactics from the start. So Egan Griffiths there, willing to put that long, but it was just a height mismatch that allowed Chile to get that disc back. Then on the return, Mish Phillips throwing long, but Buxter getting her feet caught on a blade of grass seemingly in the end zone. But nevertheless, Chile scoring on the downwind side. So the wind is, it's sort of coming towards the camera as we see it, and more towards where Chile is at the moment. So slight cross breeze towards Chile with the wind billowing the shirts on the Chile players.
Right, that's it. So very different conditions to yesterday. It was quite still, a little surprising because Adelaide and West Beach, they are known for a bit of a breeze in the evenings.
All right.
Let's see if Asterisks can breeze their way to an offensive hold here.
Yeah, and very experienced line on for Asterisks. And they are going down breeze, so it'll be interesting to see. When we saw them play against Manly, they took a little while to get the gears going on offense. Let's see if they can get going right from the start.
Yeah, and interesting, there were a couple of execution errors as well, so I wonder if that's playing in the minds of the Asterisks players. Chong working with O'Connor, but a big mark by Sarah Lee pushes her upfield, opting for the reset in Addison. Across to Ma. Shoots long, but that one is very zippy. You reads that perfectly.
Sally Yu with an expert catch, and what a way. She really cushioned the speed of that disc into her hands, which was just an expert play. That is the sign of a very experienced receiver. And good to see Asterisks not afraid to boost it long, as we see them get to the high side, and that's where they want to be in this game. A beautiful throw. Watch how she cushions that into her hands and lays out.
It's just trust by your receiver, and like you said, I think Karo Ma recognising the conditions, adjusting her throw to give it a little bit of extra float to allow Sally Yu more time to prepare her bid on that disc.
I wonder how many times Karo Ma has thrown a goal to Sally Yu.
Billions. As we see the Asterisks roster, of course, as we said, Karo Ma, your girl, Greenie, one of the most talented female throwers, if not the most creative in Australia. As we know, Sally Yu's been coming back after a long break off. So she's been warming in this tournament, and I'm sure she has primed her tilt here at the tail end.
And Abby Liddell there is the spirit captain, and she certainly is a high spirit player for this Asterisks lineup.
And very heated defense here. Battersby now in the backfield. Lang's in a strike-up line. Liddell's got that matchup. Battersby goes a big shot. It's going to float. Who's going to get there? No one. The ground beats them all.
I don't mind that, getting it into coffin corner. Egan Griffiths is going to pick this one up. And let's see if they can get it to the high side here, the Asterisks girls.
Yeah, that's a little poach off for Battersby. Covers that first undercut. Covers the second as well, so you have to go a little up line reset. Battersby gets a body in there, but unable to affect the disc.
Interesting. I think we might have a middle force, because that was a backhand force there. Let's keep an eye on that.
Yeah, Chile, they like to force it one way, narrow the channel. That one is an overthrow. Lewis Shell with the block. So Chile, again with possession. Battersby works the 1-2 with Lewis Shell. Fakes the big. Waiting for the cuts to Vol. Vasquez offers an under, doesn't like the look. The stall count must be rising. Goes a nice around break to Phillips. Phillips, a hammer over the top. Lang's an intended target for Vasquez.
Come on! That's an incredible catch.
Susie Vasquez not afraid to leave her feet. A spicy hammer thrown by Mish Phillips there. And look at them praise her.
She was still down on the ground, and the Chile girls got around her and used her as a drum as they beat their hands on her back. And this is what Chile need to do. They get it over to the high side, into the hands of a great thrower in Mish Phillips. Not afraid to send. I thought this had gone out. And what full extension, layout catch of the underside of the disc. Oh, it just doesn't get better than that, Avril.
Yeah, incredible. I think the intended receiver was actually Tash Langston, but Vasquez, knowing that it was going to always fall further than intended, just times that perfectly, and isn't she pleased? So Susie Vasquez out of Colombia in Melbourne for the year, making her impact known on Spicy Chili. As we know, Mish Phillips, the legend herself, she is player coaching this year, but they do have good support in their coaches as well. Julia Kabai and Tash Langston, two of the young guns who are making their preparations for the upcoming under-24. So they've got a lot of firepower.
And a few of the injured girls also helping out with the coaching this season for Chile.
And a roller pull here to get the point started. So you can hear the sideline calls of away. So switching forces likely to occur. Chong, little jump by Anderson, moves it across to Mian. So Mian fakes a long option. Bradley's getting her arms wide and waving and deterring the first few shots. The stall count must be 6 or 7.
Great up the line there from O'Connor.
And squeezing it, managing to trap that. So that is a goal for Ellipsis and the first clean one of this game.
And Chile switching the force there to a straight flick, but that was it did not deter the Asterisks offense as they were willing to go down the forced sideline.
It's a fantastic mark here by Bradley. You can see how wide she gets. She's moving her feet, waving her arms, forcing Mian to throw it on a high stall count and a very narrow channel to O'Connor. So I like that pressure. Didn't earn the block in that point, but I like to see that pressure defense because it can build, it can kind of psychologically make the throwers hesitate.
But at the same time, Mian with excellent touch downwind to hit O'Connor down the line. And then this throw as well. Yeah, so Rightio. Now let's have a look at this ladder as we see this Chile Ellipsis Asterisks quarterfinal matchup. The winner going on to play the winner of Chaos versus Manly Mavericks. That is going to be an awesome semi-final to watch. And on the other side, Factory versus Rogue in one quarter. Two absolutely dynamic teams. And of course, Ellipsis Ampersand going up there in the last quarterfinal. Right, the disc is up here, Avril.
That's right. We do have Vasquez again on field with Mish Phillips, so they'll be looking to play a lot of points together. Nice gainer there to Nicole Carra. Fakes along on this close sideline. Swings across. That one's an overthrow, but Vasquez comes to clean up the scraps. Phillips with a big shot. She's targeting Carra. That one's floating. Egan Griffiths comes to affect the play.
Height winning out there and experience. Egan Griffiths tracking that down. It was a good look from Mish Phillips, but the experience and height of Egan Griffiths winning out on that battle.
Parks with the disc. Forces it to the open side. Continuation, not there. And now works it through the centre field. Faked by Chin.
We've got to keep an eye on this. I think it's another middle force here from Chile.
So Law shakes her head. She wants a wider option. Phillips v. Griffiths. Griffiths has position. And a flat force. They continue to move it to the wide side. Preston. Jump reset to Egan Griffiths.
And now it's all backhand in this second half of the field.
So Egan Griffiths is pointing. She wants that margin, and a fantastic bid by Preston. That is a break to Ellipsis Asterisks.
Into the breeze, Egan Griffiths, double happiness, gets the block down the windy end. Absolutely jockeys that offense up to the red zone and then finds Preston on the open side. Very interesting, Avril, because we're seeing Chile seemingly in this half playing a middle force.
Yeah, so the defense that Chile have cooked up this year is to have forcing one way, and then when they get to the sideline to force it back the other way for that kind of one narrow channel. So they're trying to narrow that channel to force the throws to go there, and then be aware for the heads up D. So you can see them kind of calling the force to help out their teammates. That occasion not quite successful, but have to say this was an upwind break. So
significant,
valuable.
Really significant. And Ellipsis are going to be really happy about that. Chile had the shot and totally back Mish Phillips going for that shot. It was just it was an excellent D from Egan Griffiths, but they did not make a mistake there, Asterisks, from there going upwind.
So Chile now, let's see what they can do on offense upwind. That is a long floaty pull by Liddell. Forces Wong all the way into her end zone. So they center the disc through Miller to Bradley. And they've got a zone look. Or just a saggy match. So Chile finding a couple of holes, but Egan Griffiths says, no way, I've got that one all day.
Egan Griffiths again with the clutch defense.
Lewis now with Egan Griffiths. Preston moves up line. They're looking for a fill, but and there Ohashi snaffles that from the air. And Chile now off to the races. Ohashi goes along. This one's going to sit in the upwind direction. And of course, Egan Griffiths comes down with it.
We've seen 3 blocks and 2 points from Egan Griffiths.
Preston in power position. They haven't prepared the long option yet. Wong now comes to meet her on the mark, and that is just turfed. So we take a breath, and there's an injury called as well.
Oh, this is not good.
Jess
Park's coming off, and she's holding her hamstring.
Hammy or glute potentially.
This is not good. We may get Simon to go and find out if she's okay.
So something on Anderson.
And look at Egan Griffiths here. She's just controlling the D space. She is not allowing Chile.
Yeah, hanging out the back. So if she's hanging out in the deep space, they must be giving something else away. But Van traps that one nicely and moves it across to Wong. Some 1-2 with Van.
This is a very tight zone here from Ellipsis.
Yeah, so forcing Chile to throw many passes. Chile so far up to the task. But this type of zone forcing them to throw the error, and that one is going to be out of bounds.
It wouldn't have mattered anyway. It just denied Egan Griffiths from her fourth block.
Making sure her stats don't get too high too early. So Griffiths on the sideline, marched by Van. Stops that first big look. And that upline shot. Lewis now swings wide to Liddell. Up to Preston, but that's heat on it from Bradley. And that is a clean D. So another turnover, Chile with half the field to work with.
Looked like there might have been a bit of contact on that, but not called by Preston.
A fun and an aggressive shot. That one is too hot for Christina Van, but there is a call of some sort and a foul indicated.
Interesting. Okay, and we've just heard from Simon on the sideline that it was just a cramp there for Parks, and she'll be fine. Get a little bit of electrolyte, maybe a bit of pickle juice, and she'll be back out there.
Making sure players stay well hydrated. The sun is out today, so cool, windy. The cloud has been around, but at the moment very bright and glary. And just figuring out where everyone is starting this point. Farnan with the disc. Nice pivoting to move Egan Griffiths. She's looking for the upline to Ahashi, but that's covered. Dump behind to Van. She goes across wide to Ahashi's going to have to roll, and she does. And an inside shot. She indicates for them to come closer. McInerney clearing out of the way, and it's a high stall count. And that one is defended by Lippy, so that pressure defense generating that block.
They switched to match there, and it was great match pressure.
Very coordinated defense by Asterisks. Break around to Preston. Back to Egan Griffiths, who uses the win nicely upfield to Liddell. And a big shot goes up. Scott CBC, Botham Clark, but that one not quite using the win to her advantage.
Oh, I love the option. She had receivers with steps towards the end zone. The win just pushing that one.
So again, Ellipsis bring out the zone, and that's a fantastic catch by Farnan in the heat, but this one is high, and that's going to say out of bounds. And Dunmore helping out.
Dunmore with the catch.
Double duty. Coach, sideline, camera, protector.
Doffs her cap to the crowd.
So Egan Griffiths, interestingly, they've gone with Van to match up, giving up plenty of meters in height. And she squeezes that sideline to Preston.
Preston, a great receiver for Asterisks already in this game.
On the doorstep now, looking to shake free, and Egan Griffiths does, as usual. She points, she wants that break side space, but in the end, Preston from Egan Griffiths. That is the second break in a row for Ellipsis Asterisks.
And already we're seeing, Avril, what an important player Egan Griffiths is. She is having a game. She's brought her A game to the quarterfinals. Preston, a willing and able ally by just being on the end of her throws and causing a lot of mischief on defense as well. It was really good to see the Asterisks shut down defense there for Chile. They got it past halfway, almost to the red zone, but then couldn't find an open receiver. And Asterisks here, I think, just showing they're calling a timeout here. Or was that Chile calling a timeout?
Expect to be Chile after two break points, and it holds us 3 points straight. So that's Charlotte Botham Clark there, making sure she's hydrated alongside Jess Parks and the other Asterisks team.
As the brains trust from both teams separate to just figure out the options going ahead in this game.
I'm sure the Chile circle will be putting on a strong D-line here. I wonder if they're going to try a zone of their own, especially given that Asterisks will be going upwind.
Yeah, but it'll be
sorry.
Asterisks
Chile
on
is
D.
on offense,
Yeah. They've got to bang one in here, haven't they, Avril? and put the pressure, get the defensive pressure back onto Asterisks.
Yeah, they were looking for some really aggressive options, as we see Panya Preston here already with 2 goals, but also working really hard in that underspace, making sure that she's ready and timed her cuts to perfection for that next throw.
And are we seeing Eva Weatherall there? Did I spot her?
Yes. Yep.
So Eva has just turned up today. She was missing for the first 2 days of the tournament, and that is a huge addition for this Asterisks team. Such an incredible receiver, has been for so many years for Ellipsis, has been doing it on the world stage.
So this is Chile's initial pool, Pool A. They ended up defeating Factory, Chaos, as well as GWS and the Manly Marlins to finish 4-1 and second in this pool. So this is how that they have earned this quarterfinal matchup. As you can see, the other pool here, Asterisks, they had losses to both Manly Mavericks and potentially an unexpected one to Rogue to finish 3-2. So they end up third in their pool, and so the 2 and 3 crossover, and that's how we've ended up with this Melbourne matchup.
And it is absolutely mouth-watering. It's advantage Asterisks at this point, 3-2, but they are pulling into the breeze, and Chile have a chance to punch this in downwind.
Yeah, we did see on the stream yesterday the Ellipsis versus Manly Mavericks, bit of an unexpected position or unfamiliar position that Asterisks are in, but this one up on the scoreboard, 2 breaks, much more comfortable, I'm sure. So Vasquez swings across to Lee. Jess Parks now back on field. Good to see the cramps resolved. And a lot of the cuts covered, so high saw Huck. That one's going to go out the sideline, but
now,
might have hit Jess Parks in the face, so there's going to be an injury call at the very least here.
Jess Parks in the wars in the first half here, getting some early cramp in the hamstring and then wearing that one in the chops.
Yeah, feisty, very brave.
Now, this will be interesting because it did affect Sarah Lee's throw, okay? So the question is, did Jess there, did she call a foul?
No, I think
on
Lee's
the
saying
throw?
there's no call. You can see her hands
Right.
waving, so I think that play will stand.
Okay.
Turnover, yeah, they are indicating that this turnover will stand.
Now, Sarah Lee here, of course, is an incredible disc golfer. You know, so she would not be afraid to put that into the end zone, but the impact onto her forearm there affecting the throw.
Yeah, and Lewis now also looking for a big option. Oh, the stall count must be at 6, but there's a stall out call by Vasquez that felt like a very, very short stall.
That was a Colombian 10, to be sure. You know, the time moves faster in Colombia. Now, I think this is going to be contested.
Yeah, or retracted perhaps once they get a bit more perspective. So just getting some perspective from Steve Baker, the game advisor here. So they can offer their perspective, but ultimately the players will decide on the outcome of the call.
Yeah, and just a little note, Manly up 6-1 in the adjoining quarter-final there against Chaos. Right, we're back in.
And that one is going to be a high one. Plenty of bodies underneath. Mish
huge! Mish Phillips.
And straight away.
Mish Phillips, big game player, big game play. Goes so high, a real skyscraper, Avril, to take that catch and then immediately shoot to the end zone.
So we have a look at this one, bobs up. So you can see it hangs. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bodies. Mish Phillips just launches from behind the pack and no hesitation. Her receivers know what she wants. She goes immediately in that downwind direction to batter's beat. So some tight defense by Chile, managing to generate that risky throw and a nice way to finish off that hold.
Important there for Chile to knock that one in.
So the timeout paying dividends here.
Yes, definitely. You notice this breeze, it is definitely picking up, and I feel like it's now going more from right to left into the Chile players as you see them there. So they're almost going into the teeth of the breeze here. Mickey Dunmore coach this season, getting very animated for this defensive play.
Yeah, she's got her party shirt on, wants to make sure they party hard at the end of this game. Jules Kabai up with the pull.
That's not a bad pull, right to, almost to the brick mark there.
Yep. And Caro Ma now fakes a big. They're saggy defense at the moment. And some good calls on the switching, but they move it to the far side. Weatherall, as we mentioned, back on the field for her team. Meehan swings across to Farnkoff. Meehan Farnkoff work at 1-2. And Meehan goes a big shot. And that is just an exquisite throw.
Oh, wow.
I thought she had
out of
caught
nowhere. That. Yes, I thought that was just the play. That was just an incredible play.
She was
just popping out of the hand.
Just gusted as she
It could have been.
Yeah.
We don't know. But anyway, Chile with a chance.
Lowry up to Kabai, who has to get to the ground but secures it.
Great clutch catch from Kabai.
And just evolving now. That one's going to go a bit too high for Lee, but White with the scraps. So Kabai again with the disc. A little up line to Lee. Lee's going to look long. That one is a very flat shot, too flat for to get ahead of.
Well, that was a real disc golfer's shot, wasn't it? But you know what? They've got it up to the end zone. They'd rather be playing it from here. Kara Ma with a disc.
Very flat mark here. They know that Ma's got a cannon, so forcing a shorter option, just correcting the travel. Ma, Mia now. And a huge shot by Ma, goes up. She goes a backhand inside out shape.
Oh,
again, a slight misread by Anderson in the receiver space.
Caro Ma put that on a platter. It was the perfect throw.
So Asterisks not really taking their opportunities, but neither are Lippy. That one slips through Takashima's hands. And a big shot. Is that one going to stay in? And a fantastic bid by Kabai to make sure that one goes out of bounds.
Kabai with a layout, just ensuring that one goes out the back. A great save there from the Chile defense. We can see already this wind is playing havoc with the offenses. Chile on their last run into the breeze doing a great job of saving a couple of discs that had popped up. Let's see what they can do on this one.
Yeah, it's already 5 turnovers for this point, so a bit of a slugfest. Kaylin Lowry taking her time to walk up to the end zone line. Chile pretty spread out on their downfield offense. And that's a high throw. Defender's going to get under it, but looks like it's caught simultaneously.
And Eva Weverall making her presence felt on this championships. It did look like it was coincident, but let's have a look on the replay.
So it goes over the fingertips. So, ooh.
Yeah, that was. You cannot get closer than that. I think you have to say that is offense disc.
Yeah. And that is what happens as
good spirit. Very good spirit.
So Cherry now with the disc. All the players running away from her.
Another pop-up.
Lee does well to bring that one down. And she goes another long option. This one again, too short. So it looks like Chile are just happy to huck and D a little bit.
Yeah, well, and I don't mind that. They're playing for position here with this amount of wind. Yep. But Sarah Lee needs to really make sure she flattens those throws out and not drives them into the ground.
Yeah, a bit more air. You can see Karoma gesturing for her players to come closer. Having to find these small holes through the defenders. It is a zone look. 3 in the front cup. They work it out the side, and that slips through the hands of multiple players. Lowry gets things going quickly for Chile. Works the 1-2 with Lee. And this one's going to be an awkward one for the other of Asterisks, winning out that to battle.
Great run through D from Wong.
Amar goes a hammer. Well received by Anderson on this close sideline as they get through this Chile zone. Weatherall now, prime position. And just a little backhand to Farnkoff.
Farnkoff, she is just on the end of so many offensive strings. She just knows her way to the end zone. She has played professionally in the States. But can I just point out, an amazing hammer there from Caro Ma. Puts it on a dime, sits it into the bread basket of the receiver. That was beautiful.
Yeah, that was the way that they broke open that zone, because before this beautiful hammer, they were just doing small passes to try and work around the zone, but that one gets over it. And, oh man, the confidence of Caro Ma to throw in that wind, incredible.
Yep. And to sit it on the chest of the receiver. And once you saw it in the hands of Eva Weatherall, such an experienced player, with Farmcoff there, knows her way to the goal, doesn't she? She's got a real receiver's mentality.
Yeah, I think the little switch on defense as well, so didn't quite clue on quick enough there that the risky space was on that open side.
And Avril, do you think now that we, rather than measuring offensive holds, it's really now a game of who can break into the breeze?
Yep.
Or who can score into the breeze?
Yeah, I think that upwind break earlier by Asterisks really set the tone, and they managed to get the 2 breaks straight, so that's a really handy lead both on the scoreboard and in these conditions.
Yeah.
So Chile being forced backwards. Bradley, again, another backwards pass to Van, so the cutters have not adjusted yet. Perhaps this is a tactical play just to allow that handler weave. Ahashi gets it now. She powers one long to Wong. Manages to grasp that ahead of Puck. Oh, and
what a grab!
Oh! Sophie Farnan, amazing goal on the line to save that disc. And Chile, initially they were looking a bit shaky on the first few possessions, but just zipped their way through and had the confidence to still play aggressive.
Oh, I was exceptionally. Let's just watch on the replay. Great rip. Wong reads it really well. This one, though, a leading pass into with the breeze, which is always a risky biscuit. But that was a great layout.
Yeah, she could see Panya Preston just sneaking into her peripheral vision. So wanted to get that disc off before Preston could get in the way, but asked a big question of Farnan and she answers. So
I think you're exactly right. If that was a turn, we would put that down to Panya Preston's pressure on defence. Yep. The other thing, Avril, it was a concerning sight. Asterisks able to put a lot of pressure in the upwind half, and Chile had like 2-3 passes backwards before they found the inside pass there. So Chile don't want to be turning it over in their red zone or even in their half with this breeze.
Yeah, I think it was credit to Ahashi's hard work to get open on an inside shot with, power position, so to speak, to get that long shot off. That managed to really release the pressure valve.
Definitely.
And a nice inside shot from Chong goes to Mian. She's got plenty of space looking for the receiver, and a fantastic layout for Weatherall. She also scores a quick goal, so a couple of clean holds now, Greenie.
Suddenly.
After we were talking about how scrappy it's been. And
I was a bit unsighted there, but I'm not surprised that it was Eva Weatherall on the end of that one with a layout. Yeah, 2 clean holds in a row here. Watch them thread through the tight defense of Chile.
This was the throw. Chong to Mian opens things up.
Mian putting enough air bounce on that for Weatherall to lay out and grab. And welcome to the championships, Eva Weatherall. Just been a great receiver for Australia and Ellipsis for so many years. Hailing from New Zealand, correct?
That's true.
Yeah, wow. That's nice. All right. Asterisks 2 up, 6-4. Only 33 minutes on the clock. The game moving quite quickly. And then we see Eva giving the camera a wave.
Liddell also getting involved.
Yeah.
So we did talk about Eva Weatherall coming on for day 3 of this tournament, but I've noticed that Sally Yu hasn't been out recently, other than that first point that Caro threw to Sally. I think I might have seen her put a jumper on. Not sure if it's just because of the conditions or whether she might not participate in too much for this game.
Okay,
so
we'll keep an eye on that.
All right, so Chile with the offense, just working side to side. Langston with plenty of fakes, but no open options to throw to. Eventually finds Slabbert in a small space upfield. She goes the inside shot. I like that one to Battersby. Battersby now leads, slab it into space. She snaffles it with both hands and to continue to Langston. And another clean hold for Chile.
That was a great grab from Langston. I thought she might have overcooked the pass. She really wound up, as we see the Chile girls doing a little celebration, a little dance in the end zone. That was a clutch grab. That was coming in hot. She stuck the mid out and got it one-handed.
I have to say, this point,
that was a clutch throw, wasn't it?
Yeah, and the next one as well. This one, Battersby, she just leads slab it out to space, realising that Jeff's parts was space marking and well behind. And then Langston just perfectly turned.
Oh!
What a way to control that disc.
Yeah, very nice. Well, what are we, 3 clean holds in a row coming downwind. The teams have adjusted, and they're now locked in to their offensive holds down breeze. The question will be, who will get the next up breeze goal?
Yep. Yeah, as we said, that first upwind break by Lippy and then the second in a row, 2 breaks up. Chile going to have to work really hard, but as we close into the latter parts of this first half, see if the winds of fortune can change for Chile.
Yep.
See if they can apply some pressure back on defense. And
Asterisks also doing well to get those upwind breaks when the wind wasn't as strong.
So they've got 3 handlers back in O'Connor. Oh, and Langston gets a huge D, steps in front of Meehan. So prime opportunity for Chile to get one of these back. Phillips doesn't waste any time, goes for Hashi, gets horizontal at waist height, and that is Chile with their first break point of this game.
Chile up and about. That's exactly what the doctor ordered. And into the breeze, break against Ellipsis Asterisks. And look at these girls celebrating in the end zone. I wonder if that's a little addition there from Mavericks with that celebration. I don't know, you'll know better than me, Avril.
Yeah, they've got a few rehearsed cheers, very coordinated, and Chile definitely a high vibe team. So if they keep the vibes positive like this, I think they're in with a stiff to try and peg this second break back. I think so. So now the deficit, only 1 break in it,
yes.
Greenie.
Yep, we got a game. What's the throw here from Phillips? She is able to keep enough shape on it to hold up, where we've saw Sarah Lee yet to make that adjustment. And it's going to be Sarah Lee with a pull here. A Australian representative disc golfer, winning part of the team to win silver at the team championships in Perth last year.
And she'll be suiting up for the World Beach Championships as well later this year for Platter Pie, the women's team. So they've kept the same line on 2 in a row, Greenie. So this is a D line. They've already earned 1 block. Confidence is high, seeing if they can earn another one back. And also forcing Lippy to go upwind, but no problem here for Ma. Shoots a big one. There's a lot of blade on that, but Meehan reads it best. Now on the doorstep, working through Farnkoff, who continues to Chong, and Lippy make quick work for a clean offensive hold.
What a statement from Ellipsis Asterisks. Oh, I was just loving the handler resets and handler movement there between Egan Griffiths and Caroline Ma, until Ma spotted what she wanted. This is a stiff breeze, but she got a flick with enough grit. Yeah. But then, of course, Meehan had to read this. There's the flick. Watch Meehan read this. Just sits under it exactly in the right position. Not the tallest player in that group of players, but
probably the smartest.
Yes, certainly one with the best read. And then, yeah, off to the races.
So nice finish there. That was Farnkoff with the assist. So an assist and a goal already for her.
Yeah, and on the back of that break, now we've switched to a who can keep holding up breeze.
Yep. So just hearing some updates. Ampersand are winning 7-3 at the moment in their quarterfinal against Sugar Mags. So both Ellipsis teams rolling at the moment.
That pull has gone out. And Chile now able to bring this to the brick mark. That is a bit of relief. For if you're a handler for Chile, that's where you want to start. You don't want to be stuck down in your end zone trying to dig out.
And Ellipsis have brought out their zone again, so an arrowhead here, forcing Chile to throw side to side and hoping for some errors with the increasing number of throws.
Oh, they've been pushed over to the sideline here, Avril.
Yeah, they're forcing to a very small gap now. Vasquez is going to have to get it out somehow, but against this wind, not an easy feat. And very high stall count. Ohashi gets a half-meter pass. Or Bradley, that one just zipped too far, too much shape. Egan Griffiths picks up on this sideline. Flat mark by Miller, knowing she likes the big, but Preston, as we said, she's been lining up this field. That one's a little high, but Anderson makes it look easy. She's got two cutters in the same space. Egan Griffiths and Preston work it out. Or upfield.
Confusion there. Yes.
Bodies in the face. Sorry, a couple of defenders in the way as well. Low throw, but they again move the disc to this low side. It's going to make it very difficult.
They just cannot get stuck on this sideline. They have to keep pushing to the high side.
Yeah, and as they go backwards, they need to go side. That one's a little high. Yao has to go. She does, but the wind goes further. Egan Griffiths, supported by, and that is just a fumble.
That was
unfortunate.
Yes, it just bobbled.
Ohashi picks up one of the Japanese stars. I like that they're trying to move it to the high side. They do successfully through Bradley and Miller. And now they find a hole to Yao. Yao moves across. She's going to have to keep it in, Vasquez, but that is an out call. So the wind now just pushing all of the disc to this close sideline. Egan Griffiths wants to get things going. 1-2 with Liddell. She wanted the big option, but players weren't ready yet. So opts for that swing. Correa Gomez now waits for the disc to fall into her hands. And that one straight into Preston's lap. They're on the doorstep. Beats the to the cone, but Charlotte Botham Clark, CBC, claiming the CBD in the end zone.
Exactly. And you saw that. I think we're seeing a difference in the experience there. Notice Liddell didn't want the continuation to Egan Griffiths on the sideline. She sort of looked that off, and they got it over to the high side and were able to punch this in on the open side.
Yeah, you can see McInerney trying to help in that space, and Ohashi did go for the bid to try and, cause a little bit of eyes off the prize, but CBC just kept powering through.
Preston involved in everything, isn't she? What a game she's having.
Yeah, 2 goals and assists to reach her name, but as we said, getting plenty of disc in the back space and front space, as we see Amanda Fung, coach of Ellipsis, gearing up her players. Got to stay mentally focused. It's a long game.
Amanda Fung there was highly animated. I think excited because there's a lot to like about Asterisks in this game, and maybe just urging her players to keep going, not to take the foot off the pedal.
So that is the first half in this quarterfinal. Very interesting one with the wind breezing up. Ellipsis Asterisks taking it 8-6. We will see you on the other side. We are back in for this exciting second half of the quarterfinal. Ellipsis Asterisks getting up 8-6 on Spicy Chili, and we have Amanda Fung here alongside Simon Talbot.
And what was the key message for the team in that halftime huddle?
I think embrace these conditions because we can play and throw through these windy conditions. So looking wide, looking deep, just playing our game, not letting it too disturb us too much.
Good stuff. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much for Simon Talbot here, working hard on the sideline, helping us with the stats, making sure we get some tasty stories on the sideline. And we have Egan Griffiths here with the assist to Alicia. Very well weighted in the downwind.
Was that for Farmcoff? It's hard to tell, but nevertheless, the key there was Egan Griffiths' ability on her flick side to give air to her long shots to allow the receivers time to get under it, especially leading passes into the end zone downwind.
And looking at the stats, both teams have really cleaned up some of their offense. A couple of clean holds for the Asterisks O-line and 5 clean holds for the Spicy Chili O-line. Didn't really feel it was that many, but it seems like it's either really clean or really messy, some of these points.
Yeah. When it gets into the barroom brawl, it gets quite messy. Look, lovely pull here. Is it going to stay in? That is a great pull.
Just in on the line and with plenty of float. So you see the defenders already set. Law getting the matchup on Miller. And Van having to attack that disc ahead of Chin. Works it to the high side. Miller on to Wong. So they're doing well to try and keep the disc on this high side. Finan gets to her knees now. Wong working hard in the dump space, but not able to get free. Eventually does, squeezing it inbounds.
Chili handler's doing an exceptional job of keeping this disc alive.
Now forced a bit backwards, but Van is centre field. Cuts far away. Farnan meets the disc. She goes a long bomb, but that one is going to be too far ahead of Miller.
Yeah, right idea. It's the first time she's tried that throw, and she suddenly realised, wow, I didn't need to put that much on it, and probably need a bit more air if I'm going to leave my receiver there.
And Valancourt picks a disc up. She's trapped on this sideline, so Chile defense have done well. They forced that errant turnover by Valancourt. So that corner, not a happy place for either team, Greenie.
No, and unfortunately the disc has rolled inconveniently out onto the high side of the field.
So Miller now got a close red zone play here. Asterisks hold it up. Ahashi gets free, but that one zips all the way through to Bradley. And now this one's going to pop up. It's deflected. Can they get the second lot? Oh, no, looks like that is an accepted goal.
Well done, Chile get the downwinder. Very good spirit there from Ellipsis. Asterisks accepting that the receiver there got the hands on it first. This is what Chile needed. They stay in the contest, but the work now begins. They need an upwinder to get back in this game, and it starts with this defensive effort here as we see that disc bobbling up, and well caught there.
Yeah, bobbling up after deflection, but I think players clued in. They know that in these conditions anything can happen, right? So all you got to do is keep your feet, keep your eyes up, keep aware.
Yeah. This wind getting a bit more blusty, Avril. I'm reaching for my wind jacket at the moment.
Make sure we've got some wind breakers, some rain jackets, hats, sunscreen. Got to prepare for all the elements. But at the moment, Ellipsis Asterisks having all the elements to be successful in this quarterfinal. They are up.
Sarah Lee with the pull.
So Lippy up 2 breaks at the moment, but 2 holds to start the half so far. And that is a long bomb with plenty of float. Mia, no one near her.
That is definitely a set play. It was a sideline stack. They isolated Caro Ma there with the throw there to Meehan. Isolated Meehan, and Meehan did not disappoint.
Got a stat for you, Greenie.
Yeah.
So the 2 clean holds for Lippy in this first half, both are 2 passes.
Yeah, yep. And I presume they are both the downwinders too.
Yep.
Watch this. So side stack, Meehan comes out. The defender had to turn the hips. She asks for help, but because it was a sideline stack, there is no help coming, or it's too late. And Meehan jumps that in for a very nice goal. I mean, if you're the offense and you draw that up and you get this, you're very happy. But look at the two players, Karamar delivering and Meehan catching.
So the Chile offense clued into the scraps, but the defense not heads up enough on that defensive effort. So you have to find something out of the bag as the downwind points continue to trend in the second half. Liddell goes up. It's a decent distance on that pull, but it's a bit low.
You know what? That's not bad, right, in this wind.
Yeah, I'll take that any day. Much more than I could do. And Langston goes with a long shot, looking for Slabbit. That is beautiful. And a 2-point hold for Chile as well.
Yeah, and whatever you can do, we can match it. And it was almost the same play, really, but a slightly different shape. They've done really well to keep the shape on that disc into the end zone, allow the receiver to come onto it. That is not easy.
We mentioned Tash Langston, often a target in the receiver space, but this time throwing a beautiful assist. Izzy Slabbit, one of the up-and-coming youngster stars here for Chile. She was part of the under-20s Terra team last year, and so already some international experience up her belt. She gets yards here on Jess Parks, and as we said, that throw was perfect with the conditions.
I think it'll be probably a smart idea here, because we're seeing these two-pass offenses, to come out in some sort of zone to force the offense to throw a few more passes and not just get the bombs there, because the offenses have worked out the downwind.
Yeah, we saw beginning of the game that the first few points were quite scrappy, and the teams were both going for it, but just hadn't calibrated yet. As we see now, really settling the game, able to adjust their throws to use the wind to their advantage instead of having to force against it.
Exactly.
And that's a very high pull, but unfortunately it goes backwards. So a very short field for Asterisks to work with.
Yeah, they've gone with match.
Yeah, with a short field, I think that's a good call.
Ma to Meehan. Jeez.
Classic combo and an easy open side throw. That was way too easy for Asterisks with the score there. And again, the pattern of two throw scores continues.
Yeah, for sure. And the same two players to start with there. So Sally Yu to Meehan.
Karamar to Meehan.
Sorry, Karamar. And we haven't seen Sally Yu on. Well, let's mention that. And Simon did a bit of digging and found that, she's at the moment, she's just resting herself. She's an absolute workhorse. So they want her fresh for the semi-finals. They
presumably getting through this game.
Yes, that's right. Look at this throw from Meehan.
It's just beautiful and gets so balanced. That low release, giving a little bit of air just so it floats nicely into the lap.
And Ong there as we get away.
2 goals here for Lee Shitton. Very pleased with her efforts today.
Yeah, she's been a really important component in their offensive drives, and she's a very good defender as well. Rightio. The pattern continues.
See what happens with this pull as the wind dies down a tad. And Egan Griffiths gets some decent distance on this one. Past halfway with a little bit of roll at the end too. So forcing Chile to work the longer field. And
here's the zone.
And looks like it's forcing to this low side. We were chatting earlier during half time. Very valuable real estate to try and get the disc on that far side. That is the side that you want to play from. Getting caught on this sideline, really ripe for these high shots. As we see here, Battersby controls that. She goes over the top, so using the wind, but Slabbit just took her eyes off for a millisecond, causing her to drop that catch. Now, Egan Griffiths, less than half a field to work with. Preston, she has been such an important player on offense. Valancourt now, one-handed grab by Egan Griffiths, and this one rips a backhand. Why not when there's float? But that one's going to float over the top of Parks. Slabbert applies pressure, and Parks, she has battled hard today.
She's such a warrior. She really is. Just gets up, keeps going. It was a hard contest. As she bangs her legs, just to say, right, keep going. Look at that. Oh, Egan Griffiths there, just so good on the offense there for Asterisks.
Oh, and what a D here, Jess Parks. Reward for effort there.
Oh, Parks goes down.
And Valancourt asking for a stack, and just a little dishy to Egan Griffiths, back to Valancourt for the score. So that is an upwinder.
Wow.
For Asterisks. That is their second upwind break of this game.
Yes, and absolutely clutch. And this is the experience of Ellipsis. Let's just go through what we just saw. Egan Griffiths gets a pull that goes over to the low side.
Yeah.
Right, that's key. But then they put the zone on and they put so much pressure on the reset back in board.
Yep.
Chile, just a slight misstep there with their throws. And then a miss to Jess Parks, but then the pressure back on.
Jess Parks immediately goes up hands high in that zone. Manages to tip it out of bounds.
Yeah, as we see here the replay. And look at them finish this off.
So again, Jess Parks goes to ground.
I
As I
know.
said, she's been through the wars.
Little
And
pop pass to Egan Griffiths and then return. The give-go, Molly Valancourt.
Yeah, I think that diving defensive effort we see here by Langston kind of exposes the rest of the defense. So thinking that could be the goal, but because it was just out, couldn't apply any pressure on the eventual assist, made it very difficult for Chile.
We have to say Asterisks are playing these conditions better than Chile at this point, as we heard Amanda Fung talking about wanting to play the conditions.
And just an update from Simon Talbot. Rogue are up against Factory at the moment. I believe he said the score was 9-6. Rogue had scored 2 upwinders. So again, these upwind breaks proving to be very valuable in several of the quarterfinal games.
Yep. And this is the strongest wind we've seen for the whole tournament.
Yep. So the Chile huddle, I'm sure the coaching brains have devised a plan to continue working together in this second half, with all on the line for the quarterfinal.
Yeah. What do you think? Okay, what I'm hoping that Mickey Dunmore and the other coaches have come up with. As Simon, we've got a word from our sideline eye.
So a quick around the grounds update. We have Ampersand in a war with Sugarmax at the moment. They're up 10-5. Manly up 12-2 over Chaos. And Rogue are up 9-5 on Factory. I poked my head in on the Spicy Chili huddle on the way through. Michelle Phillips just urging her team to keep fighting. Don't just give up the ghost because you're a couple down in tough conditions. Keep battling all the way to the end.
Thanks, Simon. There we go. We get exactly what was going on in the Chile huddle, which is more about the vibes and keeping the spirits up.
Yeah, they're definitely a vibe and energy team, and they're going to have to use that. Oh, did she touch it?
Well, no, she can't have. But it was a beautiful pull that has put her in coffin corner.
Oh, this sideline trap. Chile, they're going to struggle, but they go a high shot, and Liddell there in the space to gain possession for Asterisks. Egan Griffiths fakes a push pass, goes a high release flick. That one perfectly weighted to Liddell, who stuck her way all the way downfield, and this one crossfield, but is picked off by Vasquez. So Chile get things going before they are trapped on that sideline. They do well to move it to the high side, but that one
She just rushed the pass and didn't notice the receiver had moved closer to her.
Valancourt. That one's a high one, so the wind just gusting up and down as the throws are going up.
Yep.
Ahashi sent it to Vasquez, so they're getting forced this low side. They need to try and get it back across, and they do now. So wizened to the conditions. More powerful this way. McInerney moves it down to Bradley. A Big swipe, continue to try to move things around and then through the cup, but that one is pushed to the ground by the wind.
Yeah, another chance here. Egan Griffiths comes up. She's shown herself to be very adept throwing in these conditions.
Valancourt, not much movement downfield. So settles for a swing. Egan Griffiths goes up with the one. And nice acceleration from Brass here, completing that throw. And the handlers working through Valancourt and Egan Griffiths. She was looking for the continuation, but well covered by Chile. And Valancourt, a high release. No one realised Liddell had stuck to that break side corner. And Ellipsis now with a second break in a row. So same pattern again, Greenie. They get the upwind break and then they break again.
Yep. And I'm afraid it's again a case of Chile there. It was set up by the pull, wasn't it? Which skimmed inside the sideline of the end zone and went out, which meant that the Chile handler had to bring it up from Coffin Corner and they couldn't get it off. Had to throw Hail Mary into the midfield.
Just a breakdown in communication with the switching defence.
Geez, Abby Liddell there, she put her invisible cloak on,
Yeah.
just sat in the end zone corner.
Yeah, I think she was hiding this little shadow there on the tree. So I think she just found that little shadow, just kept out of the eye line of the defenders.
Yeah, that's right. And Molly Valancourt faked the flick and then immediately threw that backhand to her. Well, that was a well-constructed goal. The other point being Egan Griffiths and her throwing prowess in these conditions. Also her height. She, for me, has been the best player in this game. Clutch for Ellipsis Asterisks.
And that's the thing with Asterisks. They've just got so many stars. If, you know, some of them aren't dominating as much, they've always have another one ready to go. And Mian goes for roller pull. I think that's a good move because she moves it to this low side, forcing Chile to have to get it past this trap. So Luishel, Vasquez offering a little up line. They move it forward a couple of centimetres. They can hear the communication telling the cup when the crashes are coming. Vasquez trying to use her wide pivots to get around the puppy of Chong, but a nice slip through the cup, and now Chile with a little bit of flow. That one turfed by Cara into the ground. Lewis picks up for Asterisks. Ooh, and inside, that one bounces off Chin's hands, so a bit ambitious. But both teams looking to pick up quickly before the defense sets. A sweeping, and now Vasquez goes crossfield to the corner, just throws it to space. Can Luishel get there? Yes, she can. The two 19-year-olds for Chile combining for a beautiful goal.
That was a beautiful cross-field backhand shot going across the breeze, across the field, and straight into the arms of the receiver there. Yeah, that was very nice.
I really like that throw by Vasquez. She was like, you know what? There's space there. I can throw it above everyone else on field.
Look
and
at
there's
that.
a couple of you there ready. She's like, just go, just go. So you can see Luishel, Langston, both there. Slabbert was also in the area. So I like that trust throw by Vasquez.
Chile earned that shot by breaking up that zone. And the way they broke the zone up was to get it across the field and causing Asterisks to go to match there.
So Chile stay in touch. They are down 9-13 against Asterisks in this quarterfinal. And we are 68 minutes on the clock. So I think we are down to the last stanza, Greenie.
Yeah, it's still close enough for Chile to mount a comeback here.
Yeah, game's not over till it's over. And as we've seen, there's been a couple of, I guess, missed throws, missed catches. So anything can happen. You just have to take your opportunities when they arise or when they're earned.
There's been a difference too in the pools. Ellipsis has managed to get their pools to the low side, and Chile has not.
And Lippy moving it quite easily on that high side, as we said, very valuable real estate. Weatherall. She's marked by Kabai, so plenty of pressure on the mark there, and a layup bid by Sarah Lee. And they're just squeezing up this close sideline, but Marta Everall, classic combination. Nice clean hold for Asterisks.
Well, that's the experienced arm of Ellipsis punching that in and all down the high side. That was lovely. It was Karamar, the cut she did there to get open on the sideline. Either Weatherall was probably, I think, I'm about stall 6, 7. Didn't panic. Got the throw off.
I mean, you have to say, still that's a fantastic bid by Lee. It's still a pretty successful defensive effort by Chile. They managed to keep them trapped and working in a very narrow window. But here, Kabai again goes for the bid, but too far out in front. And bodies on the line. Chile, as Mish Phillips asked for, just to keep fighting, and fighting they are.
Yeah. The difference has been the experience, hasn't it, of these Ellipsis players. They just have played the conditions far better than Chile so far.
And I mean, I think Ellipsis has won, might be 8 national championships in a row now. Chile, the women's program has only been around for 6 years. So, you know, you can tell that the maturity of the programs as well, there's a difference at the moment, but many bright stars for Chile to come ahead, and that's a beautiful shot to show us the pool. No offsides there. And Chile, can they hold this point to extend the match?
Zone on again.
Oh, what a grab by Vasquez. This cup forcing Chile to this close sideline again. Chile trying to keep the disc moving to avoid getting trapped, and that's a nice high release to Kara. But she is again forced to throw to this near sideline. Slab it now, crashes into the cup and receives. Works back with Vasquez, but they didn't take that swing option, Greenie. And
now,
this one's a high speculative shot. Body's under. Oh, there's another chance.
It was a game of aerial ping pong there that Preston won.
Lewis slices inside to Brass, and there's a call of some sort.
There. Now, she goes down to do a shoelace. So, what happened there? Let's have a look. Oh, okay. She got caught up with Preston, I think, there.
Oh, so the foul's actually on Preston, perhaps, when she tripped over Preston's feet.
Yep, that was what it'll be. As she rejoins Preston downfield. Well, here is Asterisk's chance to get into the semi-finals.
So Lippy now with the first chance to close out this quarterfinal. Liddell takes a nice grab. Egan Griffiths really marshalling her offense. That one goes across to Brass.
Ooh, that was a sharp pass. Egan Griffith handles it.
The wind's just gusting up, blowing really hard. So this upwinder, having to keep your shots low. That one is too high, but in the end, Valancourt comes down. Called not in. So premature celebrations.
Oh, wow.
The wind just went up with gusto.
Yes, it did. Gusting with gusto.
So Vasquez trapped on this sideline. She slices through the cup to slab it. Nicely through to Battersby. Continues to Cherry. Cherry looks a long option. She's asking Langton to work hard. That one's floating all the way out the back.
All right.
And nutmegged, I believe, as well.
As I think we see the Wildcats appreciating a bit of courage down there. All right.
Ooh.
Another chance here for Asterisks. Geez, they're looking good. Egan Griffiths throws into the teeth of that breeze. Absolutely money.
With absolute confidence as well. No hesitation. I like the fact that Chile are still staying aggressive, still going for their shots.
Yep.
Because when they do get it past or around that cup or through the cup, they look good as they keep moving. It's just finishing off the point that they're unable to do.
Yep.
Talked about them trying to take the opportunities. So far, not so successful, despite working hard for them. And that one pops up a little, but there's plenty of time to trap that one down. And a slicing through. That one's also going to be overdone. So Chile, they get to start on the high side of the field this time. And Lewis Shell across to Vasquez.
And they've gone to match now.
Yep, Battersby upfield to Cherry. And squeezing it inbounds. So Vasquez knocking on the doorstep now. A lovely pivot by Vasquez, but no one attacking that open side, so she has to settle for a behind pass to Langston. Langston wants Vasquez, but couldn't shake free. This one has got height, and Lewis Shell, but Brass sneaks a hand in, pushes it backwards, and then is completely off to the races. That one fading to the right.
Egan Griffiths holds a hand up. It was a decent shout. Wait, we have an injury. Injury call.
I'm not sure who the player is that is injured.
Meehan is coming on. Right.
Player might have snuck off before we realised it was.
They dematerialised.
So just working out their positions on field.
The wind picking up yet again, Avril.
Yeah. So Chile now on this close side. I'm sure Ellipsis will be looking to trap this one here. And Vasquez again with the static pickup duties. Lewis Shell available. Again, the cup doing well.
Ouch. Valancourt catching the feet. No, she's okay.
And so again, this Asterisks Cup doing so well to force Chile to this very narrow channel, but Lewis Shell does well to toe that one in. They continue to squeeze it through. Cara rapid fakes. She goes a brave shot around break. And Cara again working hard in that popping roll. Oh, that one's going to be a little too high, but the scraps are picked up by Langston. Battersby now, there's a bit of space. Battersby goes a long shot, and that's because Cherry is all alone. Egan Griffiths almost with the D. But Cherry picking that one over the top of Egan Griffiths. Pegging one back for Spicy Chili to bring it up to 10-14.
And that's the cherry on the cake there for that offensive push by Chile. Incredible. They had so many passes down, squeezing it down the sideline. I couldn't believe it, actually, that they got so many down there.
And it was Battersby who was the key there. Once she got possession of the disc with a little bit of flow, she had the space and she had the confidence to play aggressive, to just punt it long. So Battersby proving to be a very crucial link. So Cara also had a few nice moments popping into that cup and then being brave to throw that around break despite the wind.
And how's the sit on this throw? Very nice. Oh, Egan Griffiths was so close to that.
And the scraps here, well picked up by Langston.
Oh, you know, Avril, irrespective of the result, what I'm seeing from Chile, a lot of really good young players that are developing. And I can just see whatever happens to this Nationals that they're going to come back stronger next year as well.
Yeah, Tori Battersby, as we said, 1 goal and 2 assists, but working so hard when she's in that mid-space, she doesn't like the camera attention. But Tori Battersby, a local South Australian, so performing very well in front of her home fans. And will this be game point for Ellipsis? Preston slices that one to the toes of Meehan. Meehan picks up, but Tash Langston, both hands up for that D. Can they convert? They haven't been able to take too many of these opportunities yet, Greenie.
There's a high disc. Well read.
Langston tracks that one down. They've just got to maintain possession here, moving upwind. Lee now with the disc. Lee, she goes a big huck. She's looking for Kabai. Kabai goes up too early. And Chong comes down with the disc.
Oh, Lee got the right purchase on that one.
There's an injury called though, so there will be a stoppage. Cara coming off for the local star in Battersby. And players able to move now that Battersby has touched the ground.
Well, I know that's not recognised by the throw. There we go, disc is in.
So Chong all the way to work. There's a lot of bodies everywhere, a lot of cuts at once, so it's going to have to coordinate a bit better.
They're in Callahan country at the moment. Caroline Marr gets open.
Yeah, just blindsided to Hashi. Caro goes a big shot. Battersby, can she get there?
Oh.
Oh, that goes over Anderson and a definitive slap down by Kellen Lowry.
Lowry smacks it down, but then collects her knee and pushes it further to Coffin Corner, where she's now going to, when she now walks strangely, she doesn't need to do that. She actually just could have walked that straight up, but she brings it right to Coffin Corner now.
So Lowry here on the sideline.
Oh, what a grab.
Oh, Battersby, that was out of bounds despite best efforts. Oh, so short field for Asterisks. Prime position to take this quarterfinal. Ma, no surprises picking up. Marked by White. No around force here. So the downfield cutter's working hard, but Mian and Ma, 1-2, and Ma over the top, but that was a miscommunication. She thought Mian was going to go for that disc, and she turned her head just at the wrong second.
Didn't get the telepathic message across to Mian soon enough. Mian goes inboard and misses the opportunity to ice the game on that play.
Lee now looking for, Ahashi. Hashi, lovely low pivot. Oh, that is an exquisite shot to Battersby. So Battersby and Lee, the South Australians, both on this line. Langston, just a little dishy across to Ahashi. Tells Langston to clear, and Lee now a nice undercut to that open side.
These are excellent throws in this breeze. As it pops up, too far.
Ooh, another opportunity gone begging for Chile. Asterisks, Ma wants to whip a big one. It's a low shot, but Mian this time on the same wavelength. And Julia 1-2, and that is the quarterfinal here. Mian with the goal, a definitive win. Ellipsis Asterisks over Spicy Chili.
Yes, exactly, Avril. And you would have to say the better team won it. The team that played the conditions better, and I put that down to the experience and leadership of Asterisks there. As Amanda Funk said, we want to play the conditions better. They did that with some clutch plays as well, and the connections between their key players, such as Caro Ma to me and Weatherall. You know, Weatherall through that, started walking before it was even caught.
Despite that, I think this is Spicy Chili's best result at Nationals thus far in their somewhat new program. So they'll be very pleased to have fought hard against some really challenging teams and really brought it up to Ellipsis. They had their opportunities, Greenie. They just couldn't convert it when it came down to the crunch time.
They did, but they were also, the tactics were better from Asterisks and pushing. The key to this game was Chile being forced to the near sideline, the low side, and unable to really work it from out of there. So that I think was the difference. And of course, some clutch plays. Egan Griffiths, in my mind, was MVP of that
100%,
quarterfinal.
100%. She was, every time that they got possession, it seemed like she was always there, ready for the, handler reset and dumps, but also throwing aggressive shots, which some of her counterparts just were less confident throwing. So having a look at the stats, in the end, 5 breaks, too much for Spicy Chili to overwhelm. They did peg it back to 1. You can see turnovers, not surprising with the conditions, but in the end, when you have 8 clean holds and you don't give up the discs too often, it means that Chile really have to convert the opportunities, and they just weren't able to. So in the end, the weight of numbers shows.
Yep. Very nicely, great spirited game. I'm sure we'll see good spirit results coming out of that. And yes, well, that concludes our round of quarters, Avril. And Asterisks moves forward to the semis. Chile to the 5-8 bracket, where they will live to fight again. But given the young talent that's on show here for Chile, I expect them to keep rising in the years to come.
For sure. And so once we have all the results of the semi-finals, we will be broadcasting this afternoon the Open semi-final at 1:20 p.m. and the women's semi-final at 3:20 p.m. local time. So make sure you stay tuned. We've got plenty more of Ultimate coming to your screens. This is Avril Tam and John Greenfield signing off for ULTI.TV.
In the name of giving more, we're offering access to more games via our YouTube membership plan.
More action.
More of the best teams, more of the action, more ways to watch.
ULTI.TV.